So welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs in a short span of time. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Generally, some of you have written to me also that, sir, when we compare these current affairs with the current affairs of other websites and all, other institutes, there are so many current affairs in other institutes, whereas we only cover 4 to 5 topics every day. Well, let me assure you, we take extreme care in choosing topics from the newspaper. Okay, only those topics are chosen which are important from the perspective of civil services examination. All the other topics are ignored. Okay, all the other institutes or websites who are making you study so many topics, you are wasting your time over there. Rest assured, we are careful about your current affairs. We are very careful. A lot of effort takes place in choosing these topics from current affairs. Okay, so make your preparation lean and crisp. Okay, don't scatter it all around. Focus only on those current affairs topics which are important. Okay, and we cover only important current affairs topics in these lectures. Okay, by the way, just after watching this lecture, do revise it from the notes provided by us on our Telegram channel, and the link to our Telegram channel is provided in the comment section below. All right, let's begin today's discussion. But first, let's take a look at the list of topics that we shall cover today. Okay, so let's begin. So daily current affairs, 24th September, Wednesday, and here is the topics list. Okay, so number one topic, recognizing the Palestinian state. Many developed countries and many countries all over the world in UN have given their nod for recognizing the state of Palestine. And Israel and USA are not happy with this. Nonetheless, we'll talk about this issue. Then second topic would be with respect to super typhoon. Super typhoon in Hong Kong, super typhoon in China. China is bracing for a super typhoon, a massive tropical cyclone. So what are super typhoons? We'll talk about this. Then the third topic is related to Oju Hydel Project in Northeast. Okay, on a particular river. That river is strategically important. This Hydel project is strategically important. And this Hydel project is very close to Arunachal Pradesh, China border. Okay, so we'll talk about this Hydel project, and in the end, we'll talk about a new form of tax that is being talked about, which is going to be levied on billionaires, extremely rich people in France. It is known as Zucman Tax. So we'll talk about the Zucman Tax. Okay, so first topic is related to your international relations syllabus of UPSC. Second topic is related to environment and geography. Third topic is related to, again, geography. Okay, because we'll be talking about this river and internal security. And fourth topic is clear cut related to economics portion of your UPSC syllabus. All right, so these are the four topics that we shall zero in our attention on. So let's start discussing them one by one, starting with topic number one, and that is recognizing the Palestinian state. Okay, listen to me carefully. You need to be aware of this background. You see, the thing is that Israel is waging a war against Hamas, against Gaza, okay? And many countries across the world are basically pleading Israel to stop this war because it has created a humanitarian crisis. Now, Israel is not listening to them. It is continuing with this war. So, all these countries, including the developed countries of the West, they have said that they will recognize the state of Palestine to put diplomatic pressure on Israel. Australia, England, France, they have all done so. Clear? Now, will this put diplomatic pressure on Israel or not? We'll talk about this later. But first, let's talk about the situation Palestine finds itself in. Okay, so the thing is that Palestine is not officially recognized as a state, a country with a state. Okay, if it is recognized as a state, full-fledged state, then it will become a full-fledged member of United Nations. Currently, it only has observer status. Okay, and currently, Palestine is occupied by Israel. Israel controls Palestinian territories. Clear? Now, all these countries are saying that they are going to recognize the state of Palestine. But will it become an official, full-fledged, fully recognized state of United Nations or not? Well, that's a different question. No matter what these countries do, officially recognizing Palestine, will it officially, full-fledgedly become member of United Nations? For that, Palestine has to basically fulfill 4 criteria. So we are going to talk about these 4 criteria. What are these 4 criteria and does Palestine fulfill them? And then we'll talk about what these actions taken by France, England, Australia against Israel, basically saying that we'll recognize Palestine, please stop this war. Will this actually have any impact on war, or Israel will go on as it is already going on? Okay, so we'll talk about the impact of this action. But first, let's talk about the qualifications. Okay, so let's begin. So recognizing the Palestinian state. Okay, now any country, any particular region, if it wants to get the status of a full-fledged state and be a full-fledged member of UN, it has to fulfill 4 criteria. These 4 criteria were mentioned in Montevideo Convention 1933. Remember this. The reason why I have included this topic is because you need to be aware of Montevideo Convention. Okay, so Montevideo Convention 1933 basically mentions the 4 criteria. Okay, criteria number 1, that particular region should have a permanent territory. Okay, then it should have a permanent population. It should have a proper government. Clear? And it should have the capacity, the government of that region should have the capacity to enter into formal relations with other states, other countries. If all these 4 qualifications are fulfilled, then only you will be officially recognized as a state. Now the thing is, the question is, where does Palestine stand on these qualification criteria? Okay, so let's take a look at the map of Israel and Palestine. Okay, so as you can see, this is Israel and this is Palestine. Clear? This yellow portion. Now Palestine is divided into 2 territories. This is West Bank, okay, and this is Gaza Strip, very small Gaza Strip. Clear? Now the thing is that if we talk about these 4 criteria, well, if we talk about territory, okay, Palestine has territory, West Bank and Gaza. Clear? But this territory is under control of Israel. No one can go into West Bank or Gaza without permission of Israel. Okay, so Israel controls it. Then, is there a permanent population? Yes, of course, there is a permanent population, the second criteria. But Israel is waging a war in Gaza and many people are fleeing. Many people allege, experts allege that the whole aim of Israel is to expel this permanent population of Gaza so that it can fully control Gaza. So, if Israeli actions continue, the second criteria, permanent population, will no longer stay true. Okay? The third criteria was government. Now listen to me carefully. In West Bank, the official authority of Palestinians is Palestinian Authority. In Gaza Strip, the official authority is Hamas for Palestine. Okay, so these are de jure governments in Gaza Strip and West Bank. In West Bank, it's Palestinian Authority. In Gaza, it is Hamas. But the thing is, well, they are just official title holders. They are official government holders of these 2 territories. Actual control again lies with Israel. Okay, naval control, airspace control, land control. Okay, no one can get into West Bank or Gaza without Israel's permission. So actual control still lies with Israel. So is this the legitimate government or not? No one knows. So this third qualification criteria also doesn't hold true properly for Palestine. And the fourth is capacity to enter into relations. Well, this fourth criteria will come only when these 3 criteria are fulfilled. Clear? So because of aggressive Israeli actions, well, these things are getting compromised. In fact, this is the official territory of Palestine, West Bank and Gaza, but Israel is slowly and gradually encroaching upon it. Many Jewish settlements are coming up in West Bank. So more and more Jewish people are settling over here and Israel's territory is expanding. Okay, so Israel is not letting Palestine to fulfill all these criteria. That is why, to stop Israel or put diplomatic pressure on Israel, well, all these countries are saying that we will officially recognize the state of Palestine. But if all of them will recognize the state of Palestine, will this have any impact? Will this stop Israel from taking further actions? Well, I doubt, because Israel has so far not stopped. Plus, Israel receives unequivocal support from USA. Okay, USA completely supports Israel, right? And USA is a permanent member of United Nations Security Council. If any proposal to recognize Palestine would come, USA would veto it. Okay, so well, it would put some diplomatic pressure on Israel, but well, nothing's going to change unless Israel itself stops or USA puts pressure on Israel. Clear? That's about it. The whole idea of putting this news item was to make you aware of Montevideo Convention. Okay, remember this Montevideo Convention, questions can be asked. Clear? And now let's move on to second news item, and that is super typhoon in Hong Kong. Now, what is a typhoon? So typhoon is a tropical cyclone. You all are aware of tropical cyclones, okay? Cyclones basically. Now these tropical cyclones occur in Pacific region also, okay? They occur in Indian Ocean region also, they occur in Atlantic Ocean also. In Indian Ocean region, they are called cyclones. In Atlantic Ocean, near America and Caribbean, it is called hurricane. Okay, same storm, same cyclone. And in Pacific Ocean, near China and Taiwan, well, these are called typhoons. So there are various local names for this, but the phenomena is same. Now, in the Pacific region near China, when the typhoon is extremely strong, the tropical cyclone is extremely strong, it is categorized as a super typhoon. Okay, super typhoon. Now, super typhoon is basically coming to China and it would cause a lot of death and destruction. Okay, that is why around 1 or 2 million people have been evacuated from the coastlines. Clear? So it is going to be a great dangerous natural disaster. But for us civil services aspirants, what is important? First, we'll talk about tropical cyclones. What are tropical cyclones? Then we'll talk about these specific tropical cyclones called typhoons and which typhoons are super typhoons. Okay, we'll focus on this only. So what is a tropical cyclone? So a tropical cyclone looks somewhat like this. Clear? So it is a cyclone. The wind is blowing in clockwise, anti-clockwise direction. Okay. And well, it is causing death and destruction. Okay. Now the thing is, a tropical cyclone, as the name suggests, occurs in tropical areas. Clear? But we'll come to that. This central portion of a tropical cyclone is called the eye of the storm. Clear? This region is extremely calm, but the region surrounding it, well, it is extremely violent. Okay, the region surrounding it, well, winds are blowing extremely hard, extremely strongly. Clear? So this is the eye of the storm. This surrounding area is, well, where winds are blowing. Clear? Though you will study tropical cyclones in detail in your geography lectures, okay, don't worry about it, but I'm going to spend only few minutes to explain tropical cyclones in brief only. Otherwise, you'll study them in detail. Clear? But listen to me still, those who haven't studied tropical cyclones already. So this is the eye of the storm and this is, well, the winds are blowing. Now the thing is, what happens is, how are tropical cyclones formed? Clear? So they are formed in warm waters. Okay, warm waters. Now warm waters are generally found in tropical areas. They won't be found in colder temperate areas. Okay, so that is why tropical cyclones occur in tropical regions. So they require warm waters. Then there should be an extremely low pressure area. Okay, extremely low pressure area. This eye of the storm is an extremely low pressure area where winds come, they rise and then spread out. Clear? Make sense? So extremely low pressure area. And third is Coriolis effect, Coriolis force. You would have studied about Coriolis force in your geography lectures. Okay. Now Coriolis force is required. These three conditions, if fulfilled, well, a tropical cyclone will occur. Clear? Now, because these three conditions are required for a tropical cyclone's formation, that is why tropical cyclones occur in these areas. Clear? As you can see, these are the warm regions, tropical regions, where there will be warm water. Extremely low pressure would be formed over here because these are hot regions. And third, well, tropical cyclones are not formed near the equator, just near the equator. They are formed just above the equator on both sides. Why? Because at 0 degree equator, Coriolis force is 0. So tropical cyclones won't be formed in equator. Just above equator in 20 degree north or 20 degree south latitudes, tropical cyclones are formed. Clear? Make sense? So that is why tropical cyclones are formed in these areas. Simple? Now let's move forward. Now, tropical cyclones in the Indian Ocean region, well, they are called tropical cyclones. Simple. Okay. Tropical cyclones in this Pacific region close to China, they are called typhoons. Okay. Tropical cyclones in this Atlantic region, Gulf of Mexico or Caribbean, they are called hurricanes. And one more, tropical cyclones close to Australia, well, they are called willy willies. Just remember this. Okay, these are the local names for it. Make sense? Okay. Now one more thing. The thing is, tropical cyclones require a large water body to be formed. Okay, that is why they are formed on tropical waters. Clear? As soon as these tropical cyclones approach land, the cyclone breaks. This is known as landfall. The cyclone breaks because there is no moisture available. Moisture was available in the sea only. So landfall is the time when cyclone approaches the land coast. Clear? But till that time, it causes massive destruction nonetheless. All right. Now, these are tropical cyclones. Now, the intensity of tropical cyclones is measured by a scale called Saffir-Simpson scale. This scale was created to measure intensity of hurricanes, but it is used to measure the intensity of tropical cyclones. Under Saffir-Simpson scale, based on the speed of the winds that are blowing in these cyclones, well, tropical cyclones are categorized into 5 categories. Category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Category 1, small cyclone. Category 5, extremely strong cyclone, very fast winds. Clear? This is Saffir-Simpson scale for hurricanes. Okay. Now, you know, typhoons is just another name for tropical cyclones. But when a typhoon is a category 4 or category 5 storm, then we attach the word super along with it. So, the super typhoon that is coming to China, well, it is an extremely intense tropical cyclone with category 4 or 5 hurricane. Their wind speeds would be 240 km per hour or higher. Clear? And they are formed when there is an extremely rapid drop in atmospheric pressure. Remember, I told you that you require a low pressure area for tropical cyclones to be formed. But if this low pressure area is extremely low and extremely rapid, well, super typhoons can be formed. Clear? So I hope you understood tropical cyclones, Saffir-Simpson scale, okay, and typhoons and super typhoons and other names for tropical cyclones. I hope you understood all of that. All right. Now let's move forward to third news item, and that is Oju Hydel Project. Okay. Now listen to me carefully. You need to understand this background. You know, you must have heard about Indus Water Treaty, right? Pakistan is not happy with India suspending Indus Water Treaty. Why? Because India is an upper riparian state. Water flows from India into Pakistan and India can block that water. Well, a similar situation exists between India and China with respect to Brahmaputra River. Because Brahmaputra River originates in, well, Tibet and then flows into Arunachal Pradesh, Assam and Northeast, right? Now China, what China is doing is building one of its biggest dams on Yarlung Tsangpo River, which is Brahmaputra in Tibet. Okay, it is building one of its biggest dams on Tsangpo River. Now, people in India, especially in Northeast, are alarmed. Basically, Pakistan and China are also threatening India. Okay, Pakistan is saying what you're doing to us in Indus water, China will do to you in Brahmaputra. Okay, that is why China is building this huge dam. Clear? Now, what is the threat? Tomorrow, if China blocks the flow of water because of this dam, well, water won't come to Northeast. Okay, Brahmaputra River would have low water levels. Yes, so this is threat number 1. Threat number 2 is if there is extreme rainfall or for any other reason, China opens the floodgates of its dams, then water will flow with very high speed and would flood the Brahmaputra River. This is being termed as a water bomb. If China is building a very huge dam, well, China can open the gates of this dam anytime and water will gush in. So this is kind of a water bomb that China can use against India. Yes, that is why India is preparing in advance. If tomorrow China launches this water bomb, India will build its own dams on Brahmaputra River and its tributaries so that whenever China increases the flow of water, our dams would block that flow of water. That is why we are building a series of hydroelectric power projects on Brahmaputra River and its tributaries. Yes. Now, the largest tributary of Brahmaputra is Subansiri River. Okay. Subansiri River, well, there are a series of hydel projects that are being constructed on Subansiri River. One such hydel project is Oju Hydel Project. Okay. Recently, Ministry of Environment and Environment Impact Assessment and many other environment-related bodies have given a clearance, environmental clearance to construct this project. Make sense? You understand the background now? Now let's talk about, because this is important from the perspective of geography also. You need to have some information about Subansiri River also. MCQs can be asked. Okay. So we'll talk about Subansiri River and Oju Hydel Project. Clear? So let's talk about this. So Oju Hydel Power Project. Clear? Now, this is the project. Now, let's talk about what is in the news. So, apart from Oju, okay, the other hydropower projects planned in Subansiri Basin are Niare, Naba, Nalo, Dengser, Upper Subansiri and Lower Subansiri. And Lower Subansiri project will be one of the largest on Subansiri River. Okay, it will produce around, well, more than 2000 megawatts of electricity. It will be one of the largest. Nonetheless, there are many hydel power projects on Subansiri River. We'll talk about Subansiri River. But what is the purpose of these hydel projects? Let's talk about this. So, generation of clean renewable electricity through hydroelectric projects, flood control, water bomb, remember, provisions of irrigation and drinking water, creation of employment, potential for tourism, energy security because electricity will be produced. But the main reason is national security, especially with what China is doing on Sangpo River. Sangpo River is the name for Brahmaputra River in Tibet. Clear? We need to protect Arunachal Pradesh. Clear? Now, let's talk about Subansiri River. Okay. So, this is Subansiri River. Okay. So, Subansiri River originates in Tibet, enters Arunachal Pradesh, then enters Assam and meets Brahmaputra River in Assam. Clear? So, it originates beyond Himalayas, behind Himalayas. Okay. That is why it is known as a trans-Himalayan river. Clear? Now, let's gather some more information about Subansiri River because MCQs can be asked. Okay. So, remember, it is the largest tributary of Brahmaputra. Clear? It is a trans-Himalayan river. Its source comes from beyond Himalayas. It doesn't originate in Himalayas, beyond Himalayas in Tibet. Now, it is called Subansiri. Basically, Subansiri in local language means gold river. Okay. Its nickname is Gold River. Why is it called Gold River? Because there were particles of gold dust that are found in this river. Okay, so that is why it is called Gold River. It originates in Tibet, enters Arunachal Pradesh, then enters Assam, and after entering Assam, it meets Brahmaputra River. So its total river distance is 442 kilometers. That's about it. That's all you need to know as far as Subansiri River is concerned. But do read it from the notes. It's important. MCQs can be asked from rivers of India, drainage of India. Clear? So remember this. And now we'll come to the last topic of the day, and that is Contentious Zucman Tax. Okay. Now listen to me carefully. Okay. Now there are different types of taxes. One category of tax is called wealth tax. Okay. Wealth tax is levied on your entire wealth. Generally, taxes are levied on your income, but that is income tax. But when a tax is levied on your entire wealth, whatever you possess, every year, that is a wealth tax. Now, in Western countries, economic inequality is a huge issue. And because economic inequality is a huge issue, that is why there are many people who are saying that we should tax the billionaires, the ultra rich, the super elite. Okay, we should tax them. Now, there is a professor in France. Okay, his name is Gabriel Zucman. Now, Gabriel Zucman has proposed a 2% wealth tax on super rich of France. Clear? Now, this tax is being termed as Zucman tax because this idea was given by Gabriel Zucman, who's a professor in France. Okay, he was also a professor in America, but he's a French person. Clear? Now, when this idea of Zucman tax became so popular in France, I mean, it is very popular in France. Almost, I mean, middle class people and lower middle class people of France are in support of this idea, are in support of Zucman tax, that tax the ultra rich. Okay, because if you'll tax the ultra rich, you will earn a lot of money and that money can be used for the welfare of poor. Yes, so this idea is gaining a lot of popularity. Now, the richest person of Europe is Bernard Arnault. Bernard Arnault. He is the head of Louis Vuitton. Okay, the entire group is called LVMH. Okay, the richest person of Europe and possibly the richest person of the world is head of LVMH. All these luxury brands that you see, Louis Vuitton and many others, he's the owner of that. Okay, he's the owner of that and he's possibly the richest person. Now, after hearing about Zucman tax, well, he criticized Gabriel Zucman and he has said that if you levy this tax in France, well, all the rich people will take their money and move out of France. This will be a loss to the economy. He is threatening that. Zucman is saying nothing of that sort will happen. Levy this Zucman tax to solve the problem of economic inequality in France. So this is the entire issue. Clear? So let's talk about the basics of Zucman tax. Okay, so let's talk about this. So contentious Zucman tax. So what is it? So it is a form of wealth tax. Okay, wealth tax is levied on your entire net wealth. Okay, let's suppose you earn an income of, well, 50 lakhs in 1 year. If you levy a tax on that, that is income tax. But if you earn an income of 50 lakhs every year, but your total wealth, including inherited from your father, is, let's suppose, 50 crores, then this wealth tax will be levied on 50 crores every year. Okay, Zucman says that ultra rich people should give this wealth tax. So billionaires should be taxed a minimum of 2% of their net worth, not annual income, not income tax, wealth tax on these billionaires. Okay, this was proposed by Gabriel Zucman and it is a form of wealth tax. Now remember, wealth tax was there in India as well. It was started in 1957 and it stayed there until it was abolished by the BJP government. The then finance minister was Arun Jaitley. Okay, in 2016 it was abolished. So now India doesn't have any wealth tax. Clear? So this is a form of that. The question is, well, if you're levying wealth tax on middle class people, then everyone will resent that. But many people support the idea of levying wealth tax not on everyone, only on billionaires, specifically on ultra rich. Clear? So why billionaires? Why should you tax billionaires? Okay, so why billionaires? Why billionaires are the main villains? First of all, as per a recent study internationally, it was found that most of these billionaires, because they have access to an army of lawyers, army of chartered accountants, they are able to save tax, lot of tax. And as compared to a normal middle class person, they pay very little taxes because they can hire people to save taxes. So they are not paying their fair share of taxes. Clear? And if you'll tax the billionaires, it is a good example of progressive taxation. What is progressive taxation? Very simple. Just a second. Progressive taxation is, as your income increases, the tax on you increases. So low income people will pay low taxes, high income people will pay more taxes. This is progressive taxation. Progressive taxation is generally considered good for bridging economic inequality. So this will be a form of progressive taxation that is good. So we should do it. But many economic experts are saying that this won't be an intelligent decision. Zucman tax won't be an intelligent decision. Why? Because this might lead to capital flight. The risk of capital flight. Bernard Arnault might move away from or move out of France. Similarly, many rich people of France will move out of France, set up their factories elsewhere. It would harm French economy. So some people are saying this. Some people are saying no harm would be there. Tax the rich. Clear? So this is Zucman tax. I hope you got this. Okay? And with that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. But it will add more value if you'll revise this lecture from the notes provided by us. So please do not forget to do that. And I shall see you next time with another set of news items. Thank you, everyone.